They named it after him, the Genius Act. Trump says it's freedom. But you got to read the fine print. Dollar stable coins have federal approval, but who controls the dollars? Who tracks the transactions? They promised no central bank digital currency while creating the infrastructure for one. Gary Gensler is gone, but who replaces him? Another swamp creature? The same government that weaponized the IRS, the FBI, and DOJ now wants to regulate your crypto. You see, they call it protection, but history calls it control. Every financial innovation starts with promise of liberty and ends with chains. Is this really crypto freedom, or are we watching digital enslavement get a MAGA makeover? The devil is in the details, so keep watching. While politicians promise crypto freedom through new regulations, remember that true wealth protection comes from assets government cannot control digitally. As we navigate uncertain financial futures where every transaction could be tracked, physical assets matter more than ever. That's why I trust ageless Collagen, a real, tangible investment in your health that no algorithm can devalue. 5 collagen types from 4 premium sources, providing real results you can see and feel. No digital intermediaries, no blockchain required, just pure health benefits. Get 51% off at healthwithgary.com because while they debate digital currencies, your body needs real physical support today. healthwithgary.com. All right, so I posted this just before we went live. This act, is it a Trojan horse for financial control? The Genius Act may claim to boost crypto, but it arms the state with real-time spending, surveillance, programmable controls, and centralized control over stablecoins. While we support crypto and applaud real Trump for opposing a Fed-issued CBDC, this bill falls short, risking privacy, financial freedom, placing all transaction data at government mercy. We need true decentralization and constitutional safeguards, not programmable money. So what is actually in the bill? It establishes a federal framework for payment stablecoins requiring one-to-one fiat backing, monthly reserve disclosures, and audits for large issuers. It aims to regulate issuers, banks, and non-banks, defining stablecoins distinctly from securities or commodities. The risks under the surface enables programmable digital money, transaction filters, blocks, reversals, expiration clauses, all potentially enforceable in real time by regulators. Creates a centralized ledger exposing complete transaction histories to government oversight. Now, what are the positives? Now, Trump's signing shows a continued push for private crypto innovation and explicitly rejects a Fed-issued CBDC for now. Provides regulatory clarity, backing for on-chain dollars, and aligns with crypto-friendly policy under Trump, according to Vanity Fair. The bottom line, the Genius Act is a step forward, but it's not the full embrace of decentralization that we need. Guardrails on stablecoins are great, but without privacy protections and constitutional limits, programmable money could morph into a digital leash. So let's champion crypto's promise, not a state-controlled version of it. Let's dive deeper into this, shall we? Peter Ryan writes, this Genius Act paves the way for fully operational surveillance and control apparatus where governments can see, freeze, seize, and control people's funds. It will allow for the circulation of a centralized digital ledger, tokens, not decentralized cryptocurrencies. It's stated right there in the act. The bill's heinous contents would be utterly myopic. Now, check this out. This is crazy. A convicted money launderer helped write the code for Trump's stablecoin. The UAE poured $2 billion into it, and Trump walked away with $30 million. Representative Casten warns the Genius Act doesn't just greenlight corruption, it invites a crisis. Now, this is a Democrat, but we should still listen.
Seeking a presidential, we know that recently a convicted money launderer wrote the code so that the United Arab Emirates could buy $2 billion of Trump's stablecoin, which allowed President Trump to earn $30 million on the transaction. Now this convicted felon...
Gentleman's time's expired.
To the gentleman,
and I should clarify here, the convicted felon I'm referring to is the guy for insider trading.
Time's expired.
An additional 15 seconds to the gentleman.
Gentleman
convicted felon
recognized
I'm
for 15
referring
seconds.
to is the guy who ran Binance, not the president, but he's seeking a presidential pardon. So the Genius Act sets the stage for this financial crisis and allows the president to continue cheapening the office for his own financial gain, and I urge a strong no. We know that...
Wow. Maxine Waters was all over that, wasn't she? Here we have Marjorie Taylor Greene's warning. We played it yesterday, but it bears repeating. Matt Morrill writes, beware crypto investors. The Senate and House are passing the Genius Act, but leaving out one huge provision. The provision not included gives people the ability to maintain... The provision not included gives people the ability to maintain self-custody of their digital assets. They're trying to take custody of your investments. Isn't that one reason crypto is so attractive? Let's listen to Marjorie Taylor Greene.
And the Genius Act has already passed the Senate. President Trump is urging us in the House to pass this bill. He's posted it on Truth Social. Leadership is urging us to pass this bill, but I just want to give you a brief description in the bill. There's two things that are in his executive order that are not in the Genius Act. One of them is giving people the ability to maintain self-custody of digital assets. That's incredibly important to people that own cryptocurrency, stable coins. And then the second thing that is not in the Genius Act, but is in his executive order, is a complete prohibition, a ban, central bank digital currency in the United States and abroad. And so here's the problem with the Genius Act. They didn't give us a chance to introduce amendments. The House leadership did not allow us to do that.
Trump needs us to raise the alarm.
That's right, Alex. They do. They run articles against us. They have paid influencers that post against us. And the Genius Act has already passed the...
So what did President Trump say? It did pass today. This morning, President Trump signed it into law. Let's check in with Allison. She is Allison Steinberg. She is one of the reporters at Lindell TV. Let's get the Lindell TV take.
Name of the beast. Revelation 13, verse 16 through 17 says, it also forced all people, great and small, rich and poor, free and slave, receive a mark on their right hands or on their foreheads, so that they could not buy or sell unless they had the mark, which is the name of the beast or the number of its name. What happens when the government can freeze your bank account without even charging you with a crime?
President Trump wrote an executive order on January 23rd, and specifically on exactly what the Genius Act is about, except they did not include what was in his executive order, which is a ban on a central bank digital currency.
The Genius Act creates a government-regulated digital dollar called a stablecoin that many argue is a central bank digital currency in disguise. Stablecoins would likely replace all physical cash. And under the Genius Act, your digital wallet could be frozen if you violate any federal or state regulation, even if it was never passed by Congress. Remember the COVID vaccine mandates? The Biden administration enforced them not through Congress, but through an executive order. Millions were fired. Now imagine being locked out of your savings for refusing a future mandate. Over in Australia, people were physically detained in quarantine camps. In America, the soft power version would be freezing your finances and calling it public safety. The White House maintains that the Genius Act will not usher in a CBDC.
This piece of legislation is going to make America the crypto capital of the world, and that's what the president promised. As for a central bank digital currency, the president opposes that. He made that promise to the American people on the campaign.
I'm also making a promise to protect Americans from government tyranny. As your president, I will never allow the creation of a central bank digital currency.
Even though President Trump signed an executive order back in January banning CBDCs, the Genius Act lets big banks create private sector versions, still programmable and still controlled.
And if you look at what they're doing with the Genius Act and stablecoin, he said no CBDCs. The guys who own the New York Fed are all going to create subsidiaries and issue stablecoin, which will be interoperable, can work with a social credit system.
Stablecoins can be programmed exactly like how we fear CBDCs will be programmed. They're exactly the same tokenized mechanism. They can be used in smart contracts. They can be used to collateralize loans or mortgages. They can be backed by certain things. It can be taken out of your wallet. Your wallet can be blacklisted.
Back in 2016, he even raised concern about the lack of the gold standard.
Can you envision a scenario the country ever goes back to the gold standard?
Well, in some ways, I like the gold standard. There's something very nice about the gold standard. And you have to go back at the right time, like when gold does the old crash show. But there's something very nice about having something solid. We used to have a very, very solid country because it was based on a gold standard.
But now Trump changed his tune when it comes to this bill, saying, get it to my desk ASAP. No delays, no add-ons. The Genius Act stablecoin is just one piece of a much larger digital control grid. AI-run data centers, facial recognition tied to Real ID, constant location tracking, and behavioral scoring, just like Communist China's social credit system. According to Neil Kashkari, president of the Federal Reserve Bank of Minneapolis, a CBDC would let the government monitor every one of your transactions. I get why China would be interested. Why would the American people be for that? Well, the government would gain the unconstitutional power to seize your assets without trial, without due process. That's a direct violation of the Fourth Amendment, which protects against warrantless surveillance. It's not just about the money here. It's about the control. The Genius Act isn't genius. It's actually dangerous. Could this be the very thing that leads to the mark of the beast? I want to know your thoughts in the comments below. Reporting for Lindell TV, I'm Allison Steinberg. Revelation 13.
Well done, Allison. You must have saw my report yesterday. Well done. Okay, so let's get to the administration's response. Here is the Deputy Treasury Secretary saying it's a great day for the American people.
It's a great day for the American people. We are going to provide regulatory and legislative clarity to the use of stable coins for modernizing the payment system. As we identify new ways to use technology, we can more quickly, more cheaply, and more securely facilitate payment around the world. And so what this is going to do is it's going to even further cement the dollar as the world's reserve currency, because by making it easier for people trading internationally, for imports and exports, for trade even domestically to take place through electronic means, through blockchain technology, by providing this legislative clarity for those participating in this space, they know the rules of the road, they know how to operate, and it'll bring faith to the American people on how to negotiate, how to make payments, how to utilize these new systems.
Okay, let's go to the president during the signing ceremony. I want to get to his, before he signs it, this is his statement about the central bank digital currency.
Digital currency. Also remain fully committed to my pledge never to allow the creation of a central bank digital currency in America. It won't happen. My first. Thank you. And the other night, I will say, with some of the congressmen and women, they wanted that so badly. That was so important to them. I was impressed that they knew what the hell it was, to be honest with you. Please, sir, please, the central bank digital currency. Well, you have to make sure, sir. And I'm saying, what do you know about that? It's amazing the knowledge that people have gained all of a sudden. We had a lot of problems with some of them. I said, we've already got it from the Fed, right, from Commerce, and from an executive order. You don't need it a fourth time. Sir, we have to get it. It's amazing. But they knew their subject, though, didn't they, huh? And we helped them out. My first week in office, I signed an executive order to ban the creation of a CBDC in the United States. And very soon I look forward to signing legislation that will codify and ban make it a permanent law, put it in permanence. Also.
Okay, so there you have President Trump saying that he is looking forward to signing his executive order into law. So that should give everybody a sigh of relief, but that still doesn't stop the infrastructure that has already been set in motion with the Genius Act. Continuing with some more President Trump's remarks, here's actually David Sachs. David Sachs is the White House AI and crypto czar. Here's what he has to say. This is his remarks prior to the president signing it into law.
Accepted this job as crypto. Thank you so much. All right, thank you, President Trump. It's a great honor to be here, and it's true that I'd never expected to work in government at all, and then everything changed after President Trump came on my podcast, and I did this job as crypto czar because I thought it was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to work for a president who really wants to get things done for the American people, and if anything, that's been an understatement. The first 6 months of this administration have been more successful than any administration in American history. What's been done? It's just been incredible. President Trump has worked at tech speed. We're used to working fast in Silicon Valley, but even this is fast for us in Silicon Valley, the rate at which you move President Trump. It's really incredible. And now today, you have another historic legislative achievement that is a monumental step to fulfilling your promise to making the United States the crypto capital of the world.
All right. We have some more remarks from the president here. Recognizing the many industry leaders present, the crypto community, for years you were mocked and dismissed. Here's President Trump lifting up the crypto community.
Let me say the entire crypto community, for years, you were mocked and dismissed and counted out. You were counted out as little as a year and a half ago. But this signing is a massive validation. And even before this signing, over the last year and a half, I think your stuff has gone up more than any stock, or just about more. A couple of stocks that were pretty good, I will say. But you have certainly, as an industry, gone up more than anybody. Nobody's gained the respect in such a short period of time. But this signing is a massive validation of your hard work and your pioneering spirit and your ability to never give up, because a lot of people would have given up 2-3 years ago. So I want to thank you for contributing to the incredible strength of America. This is going to make it stronger, and congratulations on this incredible achievement. Let me say the entire...
And I think we actually have the moment he signed it into law. Maybe we don't, but he did nonetheless. If you got value from this report, tap subscribe. My final thought is next. So let's be honest about what just happened. Yes, Trump blocked CBDCs for now. Okay? But what about a future administration? What about a future Congress? So Gensler's gone. Who replaced him? The Genius Act, though, creates a regulatory framework. Who writes those regulations? The same deep state that survives every administration. They're not giving us freedom. They're giving us permission. Permission that can be revoked, standards that can be changed, oversight that becomes overreach. Today's liberation is tomorrow's trap. Remember, the Federal Reserve started as a solution too. So did the income tax, just temporary, they said. Now they're protecting crypto by bringing it under federal control. See, the globalists don't need CBDCs when they can control stable coins through the back door. So is the Genius Act genuine freedom, or a Trojan horse for digital slavery? Let's continue the conversation in the comments. Give me a yes or a no. And remember, some things like our next news merch remain refreshingly outside their digital matrix. Support our efforts to expose President Otto Penn with our hilarious t-shirt. Hit the link down in the description. You can see it up close. It's really funny. And wear it with pride, or you can, it's the new all-inclusive resort for illegals down in Florida with its own runway. You can fly in and out, air conditioning, lazy river, natural wildlife protecting you. Trigger liberal today at shop.nextnewsnetwork.com.